All right, so last time we talked all about amino acids, right? Those 20 fundamental building blocks of life. Well, today we're going to take that next giant leap. We're going to see how our bodies take those simple little molecules and build them into the incredible, complex machinery that we call proteins.
So that really brings us to the big question, doesn't it? I mean, how on earth do just 20 simple molecules build literally everything? We're talking about your muscles, your immune system, the enzymes doing work in your cells right now. How is that possible? Well, the secret, as you're about to see, isn't just in the ingredients. It's all about the architecture.
Okay, so here's the plan for today. First, we'll go from the blueprint to the actual protein. Then, we'll dig into the 4 levels of protein structure. We'll also see what happens when that shape goes wrong. And finally, we'll talk about unfolding a protein. Let's get started. All right, section 1, from blueprint to protein. So how do we get from a set of instructions locked away in your cells to a fully formed, functional protein? Let's connect those dots. So, quick refresher from last time. You can think of those 20 amino acids kind of like a big collection of different colored beads. Your body has a very, very specific set of instructions for how to string these beads together to make all sorts of different necklaces. And each one of those necklaces is on its way to becoming a unique protein. So, where do those instructions actually come from? Well, they're stored in your DNA. And a gene is just a specific section of your DNA that basically acts as the instruction manual, or the code, for building one single protein. It's the master blueprint for that one specific job. Okay, so if the amino acids are the beads, what's the thread that holds them all together? We need something really strong, right? Well, in chemistry, we call this a peptide bond. It's the super strong covalent bond that chemically links one amino acid to the next, creating that long chain. And here's a look at how that actually happens. You see, the acid group of one amino acid connects right to the amino group of the next one. It's a really neat reaction. When you join just 2 of them together, we call that a dipeptide. Di for 2, right? And when you keep going and link up a whole bunch, well, now you've got a polypeptide chain. Now, this is a really important distinction, so let's be clear. A polypeptide, that's just the long chain of amino acids. It's the string of beads. But a protein, that's what you get after that chain has been folded and twisted and contorted into a very specific 3D shape. That shape is what gives it its function, what lets it actually do its job. The folding part, it's literally everything. Okay, so how does a simple chain know how to fold into such a complex shape? Well, it's not random at all. It's a super organized process that happens in 4 distinct levels of structure.
And here they are, the 4 levels of organization. We have the primary structure, the secondary structure, tertiary, and finally, quaternary structure. Think of it like building something. Each level builds right on top of the last one. This visual really lays it all out beautifully. So look, the primary structure, that's just the simple sequence of amino acids, the order of the beads. Then you get these little local folds and coils, like these helices. That's your secondary structure. Then the entire chain folds up into this one big, complex 3D glob. That's the tertiary structure. And for some proteins, not all of them, but some, you need multiple folded chains to come together to make the final machine. That's quaternary structure.
Seriously, if there is one thing you remember from our talk today, make it this. Shape determines function. I'm going to say it again. Shape determines function. A protein's job is completely dictated by its 3D structure. You mess with the shape, you mess with the function. Period. All right, to really hammer home just how critical that shape is, let's look at a really powerful real-world example of what happens when things go wrong. And you'll see how even the tiniest mistake can have huge consequences. So what happens is, sometimes there's a tiny error, a mutation, in the DNA instructions. And that causes just one wrong amino acid, one wrong bead, to be placed in that long chain. You could have a chain of hundreds of amino acids, and just one single mistake can change everything.
And this is the result. This is sickle cell anemia. On the left, you see a normal, healthy red blood cell. It's a nice round disc. On the right, that's a sickled cell. And that's all because a single wrong amino acid in the hemoglobin protein made it fold incorrectly. That tiny error in the protein changes the shape of the entire cell, making it rigid and C-shaped, and it can't carry oxygen properly. It's just a tragic example of one tiny error causing a massive, massive problem.
Okay, so far we've talked about folding, but what about unfolding a protein? It turns out we actually do this on purpose all the time. The process is called denaturation. And you'll see it's not just happening in our kitchens, but it's absolutely vital for getting nutrition from our food.
So what exactly is denaturation? Well, it's basically the process of wrecking a protein's natural 3D shape. We're breaking down those secondary, tertiary, and quaternary structures, essentially unfolding it, taking it from that complex, functional machine back to a simple, limp chain. And when you do that, you destroy its original function.
And you've seen this happen a million times. Think about cooking an egg. What happens to the egg white? It goes from clear to solid white. That's heat denaturing the proteins. Or think about whipping egg whites for a meringue. That physical agitation, just beating them, does the exact same thing. And of course, the acid in your stomach is a major player here when it comes to digestion.
And this is so important for how you get nutrients. When you eat something with protein, the very first thing that happens is the powerful hydrochloric acid in your stomach gets to work. It denatures those proteins, unfolding them. This opens up that long chain, making it way easier for your digestive enzymes to get in there and start snipping the peptide bonds, breaking it down into individual amino acids.
So this really brings us full circle, right? We know our bodies need a supply of amino acids to build all their own important proteins. And now we know that to get those amino acids, we have to eat other proteins, unfold them, and break them down. Which leads to one final really important question. Where do we get them? What foods give us the proteins we need? And that is the perfect setup for our next explainer. I'll see you there.